Hi, it's Dr. Clark. I want to talk to you today about the brain and about specifically anatomy and the parts of the brain. So there are three main parts to the brain. We're going to look at them here on this chart. The part of the brain most people think about is the biggest part of the brain here called the cortex. The cortex is made of different lobes or different areas. You have the frontal lobe in the front, you have the temporal lobe on the side, parietal lobe up here on top, and the occipital lobe here in the back. Each of those lobes somewhat does different things. Like we think of the frontal lobe being for our personality, for our decision making, and for other things related to thought. We think about our temporal lobe controlling smell and sound and in moods and things like that. We also think of the occipital lobe as our visual cortex, so all vision is, the primary visual cortex is here. And then of course the parietal lobe is anything that has to do with where things are. If you see something visually where it is, or if something happens to your body, where your body is in space, that's your parietal lobe. Then right below the cortex we have the cerebellum. This is called the little brain. The cerebellum only makes up 10% of the size of the brain, but it contains over 50% of all the brain's neurons or all the brain cells. So the cerebellum is a very intense area of the brain. Matter of fact, the cerebellum is called the little brain, and it is your central processor. It also controls the strength, alignment, and posture of your spine, your coordination, your ability to walk, but it also processes everything up to the cortex. And then lastly, we have the part going down toward the spinal cord called the brainstem. The brainstem it handles autonomic function. Autonomic meaning automatic. This is your organs and systems, and these things are handled obviously automatically without thinking about them. And so there are two sides to your autonomic nervous system. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Typically, sympathetic, as you know, is for fight or flight, and that turns organs off. Parasympathetic is for rest and digest, and that turns organs on. So everything typically works better in a normal setting in a parasympathetic mode. So that gives you kind of an overview of the brain. We're going to come back later and talk more specifically about the lobes and what they do. But hopefully this will help you understand your brain a little bit better. God bless and have a great day.